Alright, what's ripening, YouTube? Today I'm looking at my jackfruit collection here. Most people in my area like to grow them from seed. They think they're hardier and they grow faster, and it's believed that they're relatively true to seed. So I've got some selected, these are selected specific jackfruits that I've had over the last year that were particularly good. The first row here, these ones tasted like banana. I've got ones that are orange with firm flesh. I've got a yellow soft flesh and a yellow firm flesh. All of these are the best four that I had this year, and I've maybe had 10 or so pretty good ones. These are the best ones. So these are the ones that I've saved. And then over here, these are grafted trees that I've either purchased or traded with friends. This one's called China. China's supposed to be like a cross with a Chumpedak. This one's Gold Nugget. I've got Dang Racimi here, My Two. These are a couple other, I only have one of these seedlings. This is a Borneo Wild. This is an NS1. This one is a Sri Lanka Yellow. This was a really good one. And then I've got one more over here called My Three. My Three. So I have My One, My Two, and My Three. And so this, like I said, this year I've been selecting seedlings to grow out as seedlings. Last year I grew out a bunch of seedlings and didn't really remember which fruit they were, and I've kind of let a lot of them, most of them I've given away or sold or traded. I've got some leftovers back here that have just been sitting here. And what I did, they were getting too big. Actually, this one, like, this is a failed graft. This is one that I tried to graft onto and didn't make it. But then it kept growing. It was fine. And then I have other ones like this one. It got too big, so I tipped it so that it would regrow. This one's actually dead, but forget about that one. Here's another one. I tipped it so I would get regrowth, because you need young green wood to graft with. It was too old. A lot of these were too old. So I've done that with a bunch of these, and you can see they've grown back. They've been here in the shade, really not getting much water or any love at all, but they're surviving. And what I'm going to do is use them over here. Here's some more of my bigger seedlings that I don't know what to do with. I'm going to take them and do what's called an approach graft, and I've already selected 3. So here's my 3 tree. This is a nice specimen. I'm pretty sure this one came from Excalibur Nursery, and you can see it's got multiple branches, and these are the branches I've selected that I'm going to graft onto. So I went through all my seedlings to try to find ones that had similar diameter to each branch. So here's a branch from the mother tree, and then here's a seedling, and these are going to marry up just like that. And then same thing over here. Here's another branch off the mother tree. Here's my seedling, and these are going to marry up just like that. And then same thing, I've got one for, this is blurry. Same thing, I've got one for right here too. So these are the 3 that I selected, and I'm going to try my first approach grafts with this tree. So here we go. Alright, so I moved inside because it was pretty windy, so I moved into the garage. So here's the first approach graft I'm going to do. As you can see, I stripped a couple leaves off. With jackfruit, they get really sappy, so I'm kind of letting this sap run out a little bit. Probably doesn't matter too much, and I'll probably do that as I go too. What I've done to make this work is I set a brick on the pot, on the base of the soil on the pot, just to bring up my seedling to the elevation I want it to be at, so I can make my joint. You kind of have to play with it, but anyway, I've decided I'm going to join them about right here. So I'm just going to I've got my grafting knife, I just sharpened it up. I'm just going to run a quick slice down the side of this one, about yay long. There's that. You don't want to go all the way through. And then I just need to go and match it up. Looks like I need to take one more leaf off. And then that'll be right here. I'll turn it around so I can see what I'm doing. Take a quick little peel. I've got some buddy tape. This is just the easiest type of grafting tape that I've found. Comes off in little squares, so you just pull it. Real nice and stretchy. In this case, I'm probably going to reinforce this with something else to make sure that it holds. But basically, if you can see what I'm doing, I'm just going to press these two together like that, and then wrap them, and hopefully they'll make a union. So I'll stretch this out a little bit to start. It's important that these are making contact, so I'm going to hold them as tight as I can. A little bit left here. The reason I'm doing this with jackfruit is because I've had zero success with other methods so far. So a friend of mine has tried this a couple times and has had it work for him, so I'm going to try it. See how it goes. This looks pretty tight, so I'm pretty happy with that one. So I'm just going to move on to the next one. So here's a closer view of my approach grafts. There's one, here's number 2, and here's number 3. So I'm going to leave these to meld together. I want the graft to heal probably for a couple months. before I take them off, and I'll do an update video and let you know how it goes. Basically, once the graft has healed, eventually I'll cut off the bottom of the mother tree, which means that the seedling will be feeding that little piece there, and then I'll cut off the top of the seedling. So I'll remove that stem and that stem, and then I'll have a new tree, and the new tree will be my my 3 versus just the regular seedling. So that's what we'll get to, and I'll definitely do an update video in the future.